Welcome to the Trashcats Trashcast. I'm Richard.
I'm Steven.
And today we're discussing the history of Halloween and why we celebrate the dead with costumes and candy corn. But first, Steven, how was your week?
Yeah, buddy. It's that time.
It's
Dude,
that time of the year.
Sweatshirt weather.
Damn right.
Yeah. Man, things on my end, I feel like they've felt shitty, but everything's really chill, actually. This week, I doubled my cats. I have 4 cats in the room, and we have an old, smelly dog that's just chilling on the couch. So things are all right. What about you, man?
It's been good. I've been working a little bit extra this week, but it's necessary right now, which is cool. I could use the hours anyway, but it's been fun. It's all, good work. It's fun stuff. I enjoy doing my job.
Did you ever think we would just become worker bees?
No. Like, you mean like when we were kids, you mean?
Yeah.
No.
Like a week ago? Or
I've been doing this for a minute. So I've been stuck in this work as life path for a while.
It's such a pattern, isn't it?
It is.
Fuck.
Mine's interesting. My whole career is interesting because it's not like, it's not like a 9 to 5. It's like some days or some weeks, you go in early on Wednesdays and then some days you don't. And this is like every job I've ever had has been like not stable hours.
Yeah. I think that's what I'm feeling, because in the past, all my jobs were like, they're absolute bullshit, but it was like very unpredictable. And I'm in like a very regimented pattern right now.
Yeah.
And it's so much better, but it feels pretty repetitive right now.
Yeah. You should not, work the 10 a.m. to 2 a.m.
Oof.
on a Saturday, then go back in and open on Sunday for brunch. Fuck yeah. I have a run-in today that I thought was funny. So I went to Taco Bell this morning. I was like 11 for lunch because I figured while I was running errands and whatever,
Oh no!
I figured I'd get my lunch there. I like Taco Bell
Before noon.
Yeah. Well, so it wasn't like the breakfast shit. It was the regular shit. But I figured while I was out running errands for work, I would get it then so that I wouldn't have to like stop and take a break and go get lunch. I would just have it already.
That's some go fast eat trash shit right there. I love it.
Well, I get there and, the person taking my order, they seem fine over the intercom. I pull up to the window and I had a gift card that my parents got me for my birthday, like a Taco Bell specific gift card. So I said, I was like, first I want to see how much is on this. And I handed it to the guy and the words out of his mouth were let's see how much we got on this piece of shit.
Dude, I know the exact energy.
And then he looks at me in the eyes while he's smiling and says it again. Let's see how much we got on this piece of shit. And I was like, yeah, man, go for it. He was like, oh, man, it got declined. I was like, oh, I thought there was something on it. He's like, oh, I'm just fucking with you. It'll be $3 that I still need. I'm like, all right. So it was $3.15. So I pulled out cash and I had singles and he was like, you can just give me the 3. I got 15 cents back here, man. I was like, I'll give you 4. Like, I'm not that needy for it. And then he still came back and he I guess he put together 15 cents and he gave me back the $1. He's like, you're my fucking brother, man. You don't need to give me that shit.
Oh my.
Am I at Taco Bell right now?
Was it the energy? Like, do you think he was like he knows he's leaving? Like he's trying to get fired, or he just got a new job and he's like in fuck it mode?
That's exactly. Yeah. It was either that or like, I couldn't figure out if he was like drunk.
Yeah.
Like it was like, but it was super aggressive at 11 o'clock at the fucking window.
That's fun. That shit's funny, but it also can be a little abrasive.
I wasn't expecting it. It wasn't bad because he was joking and smiling. It was cool, but it was like, I was just, you
It's a
know,
lot.
yeah, I had to reassess where the fuck I was for a minute.
We need people like that sometimes.
Exactly. I like that interaction. I wish more of my food service interactions were like that, so that it wasn't weird when I roll up to Taco Bell at 11 o'clock and I checked how much we got on this piece of shit.
You got to start checking on them.
It's like, damn, dog.
I think we just found our third trash cat.
He's here.
Yo, brother, you want to do a podcast?
Right. Like, fuck, I want to go back there tomorrow now.
Fuck yeah.
Oh, fuck.
You got any honorables?
No honorables this week. What you got?
All right, I got three quick, wonderful pieces of art that are Halloween-esque. This, actually, I forget what order they're posted in. Which one opens for you? What does it look like?
I opened them all already. Harold Bustos.
All right, we'll start with Harold Bustos. So, this guy does graphic design. I think it's all like a very illustrative style, but I believe it still is illustration, but it's definitely digital. But his palettes, like a lot of his stuff isn't quite the style I would like. It's very clean, very illustrative, but his colors are so fucking awesome.
Oh yeah.
So good. And this piece, he does that light stippling I like a lot, and it's just a simple like graphic illustration of a tree with a woman standing in it, and it's this beautiful green dusk color, and the limbs of the tree are severed, like they had been cut off, and then the color of the rings inside the tree are like radiant in the night. It's lovely.
Yeah. And I'm looking at his Instagram here, a bunch of his other work. There's like he does a couple pieces in like monotone, like blacks and whites and grayscale stuff, but like a lot of it's like when he has that, it's like there's like a color or like a 2-color tone thing that he's working with that makes it really stand out in a different way. Yeah,
this is, I'm new to his work, but this kind of coloring, not theme, but kind of concept and color theory has been largely inspirational to me. Like, if you look in the right-hand column, like 3 rows down, the piece that's of a bust in red in like almost grounded green. Dude, those, like, I don't like those colors, but it's done so well.
Yeah.
Oh no, Stinky Sophie. Knock it off. Yeah, just really cool stuff. His work can be found on Instagram at HAROLBUSTOS. So that is the first one. All right, this second one we're gonna go with Beautiful Bizarre magazine, who I've always liked a lot. They shared this artist at Fly Apples, which is a wonderful name. And this piece is beautiful. It's it's like a surrealism rainbow wolf in watercolor. It's like it's a landscape, but this wolf, this giant wolf that has like flowers growing out of its fur is draped in a rainbow. The little drool lines coming from its mouth. Ones like these are so cool because it's like watercolor in it's not bright, vibrant colors, right? It's very, very gray. And then the rainbow is still like not very bright, but it's such a contrast to it. It feels like they're more saturated colors. Yeah, it's like the deception of bright color. Yeah, I love the effect. Just so pretty. Cool, man. Yeah. All right. So check out Fly Apples, and then this last one is it's a painting called The Picture Lover from 1884. by the artist Henry D. Bracalier. And it's like, it almost looks like a Salvador Dali or a Rene Magritte style guy in the bowling hat. It's almost like that guy from behind in an art gallery looking at these other old paintings. I don't know why. It just really, it's just cheerful.
Yeah, and what's wild is like they had to paint the other paintings.
Right.
When you look at it from a distance too, it's quite realistic.
Yeah, the second view of it is particularly good, where it's in the frame.
Yeah,
and it's got a Jesus crucifixion, and I don't remember the name of it, but the painting, it's a particular painting of a pig being spread, and he's looking at these gruesome paintings and just like vibing. He's the picture lover. And the reason I chose this one, so I mentioned in the other day, like, I don't really remember dreams often, very rarely, and they're not always great. But I was sleeping like a couple days ago, and they were doing construction down the street, and it was like the sound of a jackhammer from like really far away. And something about that sound through the window like sounded a little different. And I started remembering, like, I don't think I was dreaming, but I wasn't awake, and I was thinking about this painting my grandfather had. It was like my favorite painting he had, and he was an art collector, and it was one of his earliest acquisitions before he really knew how to like invest in art. And it was just this painting of these guys around a giant tent spike hammering it in. And that painting, I swear to God, like over the years, I can always hear them like hammering the spike.
it's pretty wild.
Yeah, it's not a particularly great painting, but it's just a really fun one. And it was like
Stuck out to you. It's something from your memories of your childhood.
exactly. And I could, from a state of unconsciousness, I heard a sledgehammer from very far away or whatever, and it reminded me of this painting. So I don't even know the name of it, but that it made me, really enjoy this piece, The Picture Lover. So that's my story.
I started looking up some of more of Fly Apple's work. He got a lot of really cool shit on here. Especially just from like they do the Inktober thing. Mm-hmm. So like from the last month, they've made a lot of wild shit and a lot of animals. A lot of more spooky, stuff that's more on our brand than.
This is right on theme, the whole Inktober thing. Are you a fan? I'm not. I
think it's a cool idea and concept. I forget what it was. I think I read something. I don't know the issue, so I don't want to say what it was, but there was something problematic with like the person who started Inktober. So people were like trying to use a different hashtag or something.
That's
I don't know.
So stupid.
But it's like I like the idea of challenging yourself to create more stuff, especially for people like me that don't do it as much as I would like to.
I've just
I never think about it in time, and it's like I should do something like this, even if it's just do a sketch. To do a sketch every day, just a little something.
Yeah, it would help you get in the zone, type of thing. Yeah. I just have never been able to work with a prompt, and people do some cool shit for it, though. That's for sure.
Yeah, is that what it is? Is you're supposed to have a prompt each day?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, I thought it was just an effort to draw. Each day.
I'm sure it's a little bit of both. I'm sure a ton of people just do whatever they want each day, but a lot of people pass around different prompt lists.
Mm. Yeah. There was a page I followed about for bookmakers that did something like that, and it was like book of the month.
Do you
kind of thing? What's
that book builder page? Do you have one particular book builder you really like?
There's several like artists that I follow, but there's the one is like a group.
Okay. There was one particular dude that I feel like me and you have looked at together. I just can't remember who it is.
Yeah, we'll find them and we'll shout them out another time.
Yeah. Fuck it. We doing Halloweeny shit?
Yeah, let's talk about Halloween.
Is it your favorite?
It's definitely the one that I have the most fun with. I feel like Thanksgiving's probably my favorite holiday because I enjoy like showing off my cooking shit for family.
Oh, true.
That's kind of fun for me. I like, making a catering thing out of cooking dinner for the family.
Everybody else fucking loves it too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think as far as the aesthetic and the culture of Halloween shit, it's definitely, fall's my favorite season anyway. But yeah, Halloween's always been a favorite of mine.
Hell yeah. Well, with that said, you want to take the lead?
Yeah. So let's get into it. Halloween, which is a contraction of All Hallows Evening, also known as All Halloween, All Hallows Eve, or All Saints Eve, is a celebration observed in many countries on the 31st of October. It begins the observance of All Hallowtide, the time in the liturgical year dedicated to remembering the dead, including saints, which are also called Hallows, martyrs, and the faithful departed. One theory holds that many Halloween traditions have been influenced by ancient Celtic harvest festivals, particularly the Gaelic festival Samhain, which may have had pagan roots. Some scholars hold that Samhain may have been Christianized as All Hallows Day, along with its eve, by the early church. Other academics believe, however, that the Halloween began solely as a Christian holiday, being the vigil of All Hallows Day, which I think is some hot bullshit. They definitely stole the pagan holiday.
Yeah, it's crazy how many stupid fucking holidays people have. Yeah. Like, all the different cultures. It's very interesting. I didn't realize saints could also be hollows. That's like straight from like Bleach or whatever. Took it straight.
Yeah.
What I mean? I like it though. It's very cool.
Yeah, I think I've always... it kind of blows my mind when you find out certain things that are like considered to be Christian holidays, and then you go back and look at but they definitely weren't. They were just overlaid with, instead of doing this thing and celebrating these gods,
right,
you should do this instead and celebrate our God.
Yeah, it's like there's like 30 something different iterations of Jesus who was born at the same time. It's all... Yeah,
or even like Easter. It's like, what the fuck does a rabbit and some eggs have to do with Jesus?
And it's so much of it is based around the moon stuff, whether it's the Celtics, pagans, whatever. Like, they're basing things around the time of year, particularly harvests, because those holidays mattered to them at that time.
Yeah, it was solstices and shit.
Yeah. So for some people, the Christian religious observances of All Hallows Eve included attending church services and lighting candles on the graves of the dead. That remains popular, although for the most it's a secular celebration today. Most Christians historically abstained from meat on All Hallows Eve, a tradition reflected in the eating of certain vegetarian foods on this vigil day. This included apples, potato pancakes, and soul cakes.
Soul cakes.
What the fuck is a soul cake?
Or the Samhain thing, they would go door to door singing and, the trick or treat kind of thing, and they would expect gifts, and you were supposed to give the people cakes, and they called them soul cakes.
But it wasn't like a particular kind of cake?
I don't think so, no. I think they said it's something like the king cake. They do it in Mardi Gras. So the etymology of the word appears in the title of Robert Burns' Halloween from 1785. It was a poem traditionally recited by Scots. It is of Christian origin. Halloween means Saints' Evening. It comes from a Scottish term for All Hallows Eve, meaning the evening before All Hallows Day. Although the phrase All Hallows is found in Old English, All Hallows Eve is itself not seen until 1556.
The Scots really love their poems, huh?
Yeah.
What was the KKK poem? What was that?
I don't fucking know.
The one we wrote about.
I don't remember that shit.
The hills
during the
ablaze.
cross burning? Yeah. Cross burning one, yeah.
I think poetry is very big to the Scots. Must be.
I think poetry is big to a lot of different cultures, though.
All right, Shakespeare.
I like Shakespeare. I don't know a lot of Shakespeare stuff, but I know that
Sounds like you don't like it very much.
I definitely don't go out of my way to read Shakespeare, but when I was younger, and I was in a drama major when I was in like 4th and 5th grade, we did Macbeth and we did
Hamlet.
We didn't do Hamlet.
Romeo.
I think we read Romeo and Juliet in one of my English classes in elementary school, but I don't think we actually did that in that class. We did, God damn it, I know Macbeth I liked a lot. Midsummer's Night Dream. That one's cool too.
Did you actually get into it though? Like
the story of it? I like the stories of them. They're dramatic and they're fantasy, yet still, there's love, there's tragedy, there's, all kinds of goofy shit.
Some of it, but
especially
the style. Like I hate.
I think that's kind of goofy, but it's also, I feel like it was,
it's for the time.
Especially for the time, it was like wild, outlandish shit that he was producing. Yeah.
But
if it was just one person.
I know there's some really good theories about that.
Yeah.
But dude, I really love poetry, right? I write lots of bad poetry. Not as much, but I go through phases. It's normally if I don't have the means to work on art, I'll write. And I like writing. And as much as I love poetry, I can think of almost no human being in real life that I want to read their poetry.
Yeah.
Right?
That's fair, yeah.
Like, there's a lot of bad poetry out there. Mm. And when I think of the Scottish poetry, I don't get super excited.
Right.
So, today's Halloween customs are believed to be influenced by Gaelic pagans, though some folklorists have detected its origins in the Roman feast of Pomona, the goddess of fruit and seeds, or in the Roman festival of the dead, called Parentalia. It is more typically linked to the Celtic festival of Samhain, which comes from the Old Irish for summer's end.
Samhain was one of the 4 quarter days in the medieval Gaelic calendar and was celebrated on the 31st of October to the 1st of November in Ireland, Scotland, and the Isle of Man. A kindred festival was held at the same time of the year in Wales, Cornwall, and Brittany. Samhain marked the end of the harvest season and the beginning of winter, or the darker half of the year. Like Beltane and Callan Mai, it was seen as a liminal time when the boundaries between this world and the other world thinned. This meant the spirits or fairies could more easily come into this world and were particularly active. Offerings of food and drinks or portions of the crops were left outside for the fae.
Have you ever heard like an old person like who actually believes that? Like, I know there's, like, weird, stupid pagan fucks, but, like, an older person who's like, the veil is thin, be careful on Halloween. Like, there's some witch giving you a warning.
I have heard that. They were, it was an ex-girlfriend's mother.
That sounds right.
Yeah.
Yeah. At one of my old apartments, there was this lady who lived downstairs, and I think she was like a long time sober person, and she knew I was like out of control, so she like took a liking to me. And she was an old lesbian with cancer, and she was like very sick, and she would have me over and we would just chain smoke cigarettes, and like anytime the moon was out, she'd be like, the veil is thin. Be careful out there. She was like the coolest lady ever. I would stop by there for years after.
Yeah, my ex's mom would even get upset about like, I mentioned I had a Ouija board.
Oh no!
And they were like, "Oh, you don't know what you're getting into with that." It's like it's fucking Hasbro,
right? It's
not like.
Oh, you mean Death Row Records Hasbro?
Yeah.
They make the Luigi board.
The Luigi board. Oh, fuck the Luigi board.
Oh, fuck. Purganant? The souls of the dead were also said to revisit their homes, seeking hospitality. Places were set at the dinner table and by the fire to welcome them. The belief that the soul of the dead returned home on one night of the year and must be appeased seems to have ancient origins and is found in many cultures throughout the world. In the 19th century Ireland, candles would be lit and prayers were offered for the souls of the dead. After this, the eating, drinking, and games would begin. It's a party.
Fuck yeah, man. Most pagan holidays were about like feasting and partying and stuff. I guess,
Yeah.
what else the fuck did they have to do?
Any excuse to get fat and drunk, right?
Fuck yeah, man.
Yeah. I really like the idea of partying with your dead people, your dead homies.
Pour one out, man.
Dude, do you still do that?
Occasionally.
I do that every time.
I don't do it when I'm by myself, but like when I'm with other people, and it's...
I do. It became a problem because if I'm already altered, I start pouring out too much. Like, I miss you, man. And then like my whole drink's gone. I'm like, I didn't miss you that much.
Like it's one thing if you're in like a graveyard or even if you're over like dirt in general, but when you're in like the Kmart parking lot, it doesn't have the same effect. It's not as
your parents' basement that's carpeted.
Yeah.
Just cracked bowls burning the carpet, soggy from 40s.
Yeah. Oh, god damn it. Throughout Ireland and Britain, the household festivities included rituals and games intended to foretell one's future, especially regarding death and marriage. Apples and nuts were often used in these divination rituals. They included apple bobbing, nut roasting, scrying or mirror gazing, pouring molten lead or egg whites into water, dream interpretation, and others. Special bonfires were lit and there were rituals involving them. In Scotland, these bonfires and divination games were banned by the church elders in some parishes. In Wales, bonfires were lit to prevent the souls of the dead from falling to earth. And later, these bonfires served to keep away the devil.
I actually really like that. To prevent them from falling to earth. Dude, there was, I'm not going to be able to say it right, but the Mayan underworld, it's called something like Zabalta, Zalbia, not Zimbalta.
I don't know about that one. I don't know that mythology well.
It was their underworld that was like in the sky, right? So like the dead would go into the sky and the idea was like, basically they were in outer space or whatever, but I forget what it was, but there was some writing about it that shooting stars were the dead ones who escape the underworld and
that's fucking dope.
Streaming to the earth. I always thought that. I don't know, it's always stuck with me. I'm probably misinterpreting it.
Oh man, I bet the fucking Perseids and the Geminid meteor showers fucking blew them away. I thought some real shit was coming.
From at least the 16th century, the festival included mumming and guising in Ireland, Scotland, Isle of Man, and Wales. This involved people going house to house in costumes or in disguise. I like disguise. Usually reciting verses or songs in exchange for food. If the household donated food, it could be expected good fortune. Not doing so would bring misfortune. In Scotland, youths went house to house with masked, painted, or blackened faces, often threatening to do mischief if they were not welcomed. That sounds a little sketchy.
Give me a fucking Butterfinger, I'll kick your door.
Yeah, that's really easy to picture the groups of those violent youth.
Have you ever
for candy?
Have you ever fuck with someone's house or property because you didn't get candy from their house?
Not for that reason. I didn't ask for the candy. I just wanted to fuck up their house.
That's fair too.
You gotta do some of that shit like as a teenager for Halloween. That's like the whole fun of it, right?
Yeah. Wearing costumes and playing pranks at Halloween spread to England in the 20th century. Traditionally, this is some wild shit. This is some wild prank shit going on here. Pranksters used hollowed out turnips, often carved with grotesque faces, as lanterns. It's from real prank shit. This tradition spread to other parts of England to become generally known as jack-o'-lanterns.
Oh boy. Have you ever seen I remember the first time seeing people carving apples. I was like, what the fuck?
Carving apples?
Yeah, I thought you could only do pumpkins. And
to make like a bowl?
No, right?
That's the only carving apple. Well, that's not true. I've seen like people make like swans and shit out of apples, but
I've seen some really good apple carvers. And I was like, oh, you know, it's fun. There is a popular Irish Christian folktale associated with the jack-o'-lantern, which in folklore it is to represent a soul who has been denied entry into both heaven and hell. That's really good.
En route home after a night's drinking, Jack encounters the devil and tricks him into climbing a tree. A quick-thinking Jack etches the sign of a cross into the bark, thus trapping the devil. Jack strikes a bargain that Satan can never claim his soul. After a life of sin, drink, and mendicancy, Jack is refused entry to heaven, and when he dies, he keeps his promise. The devil refuses to let Jack into hell, and he throws a live coal straight from the fires of hell at him. It was a cold night, so Jack places the coal in a hollowed-out turnip to stop it from going out, since which time Jack and his lantern have been roaming, looking for a place to rest.
Who the fuck writes this shit?
This fucking some old Irish Christian motherfucker.
That's funny. Yeah, in Ireland and Scotland, the turnip has traditionally been carved during Halloween. But immigrants to North America use the native pumpkin, which is both much softer and larger. If you didn't know, pumpkins are larger than apples, making it easier to carve than a turnip. The American tradition of carving pumpkins is recorded in 1837 and was originally associated with harvest time in general.
The turnip thing blows me up. So first of all, whenever I think of when I think of like people carving out the turnips, it makes me think of what the fuck is it? Turnip Head from Howl's Moving Castle.
We were just watching Miyazaki this week.
You want to say that when you're closer to your mic?
I was gonna let it go. We were just watching Miyazaki this week.
That's my favorite Miyazaki movie.
I like Spirited Away.
Spirited Away is also really good.
I mean, I love any of it, but
I didn't get the significance of it when it first came out because I was too young to understand what was going on with it. But it's definitely a good one.
I think it's most special to me just because it was the first.
That's
the
fair.
first I saw. So
yeah, I like Howl's Moving Castle probably mostly because of Calcifer, the fire demon.
Yeah,
eating the eggshells and shit. Cool as fuck. So when it did spread to America, there is a notation from Leslie Bannatyne and Sidney Ott. They write that the Anglican, is that the right way to pronounce it? Anglican? That's the right way.
the Pelican.
The Pelicans, the Anglican colonists in the southern United States and the Catholic colonists in Maryland, they recognized All Hallows Eve in their church calendars, although the Puritans of New England maintained strong opposition to the holiday, along with their other traditional celebrations of the established church, including Christmas. It was not until mass Irish and Scottish immigration in the 19th century that Halloween became a major holiday in America, confined to the immigrant communities during the mid-19th century. It was gradually assimilated into mainstream society and was celebrated coast to coast by people of all social, racial, and religious backgrounds by the first decade of the 20th century.
Yeah, it kind of just became like an American culture thing.
Yeah.
I always think of Puritans as a bad puree.
Some fuckers, man.
Yeah. This larger North American influence, particularly in iconic and commercial elements, has extended to places such as Ecuador, Chile, Australia, New Zealand, most of the continental Europe, Finland, Japan, and other parts of East Asia. Everybody's copying the Americans.
That's right.
It's all about money. It's just a time to sell shit. It's the second biggest sales holiday, right?
I believe that. I just went shopping for Halloween decorations in the last month, and it is about the money. Because if you want anything good, they're all expensive. Otherwise, you can get some really, garbage shit. Or my cousin told me, his wife told me the best way is you got to make everything yourself. If you want something cool, you just got to get creative and make it.
DIY or die.
That's how they do it.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Somehow with full-time jobs and 2 kids. So the food, which is of particular interest to me for Halloween. On All Hallows Eve, many Western Christians, like we said, they encourage the abstinence of meat. So there's a lot of vegan or not vegan, but vegetarian foods associated with celebrating All Hallows Eve. At one time, candy apples were commonly given to trick-or-treating children, but the practice rapidly waned in the wake of widespread rumors that some individuals were embedding items like pins and razor blades in the apples in the United States. While there is evidence of such incidents, relative to the degree of reporting of such cases, actual cases involving malicious acts are extremely rare and have never resulted in serious injury. Yeah,
there was that whole era. They constantly, parents check your candy. Did your parents check your candy?
Yeah, every time.
It was such a thing. And kids have been hurt, and we'll talk about that in a sec. But the main case that started it was a dad who purposely poisoned his own kid, and that was his way to do it. And it was after that, it became a thing. It wasn't really a thing. It was one parent killed their kid, and
it's fucked up.
Forever the holiday was stained,
Yeah.
Nonetheless, many parents assumed that such heinous practices were rampant because of the mass media. There's always reporting too of how much higher crime is on Halloween.
Yeah.
Which is true. Crime rates do spike a bit, but they make a way bigger deal out of it than it is. Everybody thinks your kids are just going to fucking die or disappear
It's
into
not
the
the
night.
purge.
Right. At the peak of the hysteria, some hospitals offered free x-rays of children's Halloween halls in order to find evidence of tampering. Yeah, be careful, those razor blades will just
radioactivate your fucking candy.
Right, that's ridiculous. Virtually all of the few known candy poisoning incidents involve parents who poisoned their own children's candy.
It's fucked up.
Because parents are bad.
Parents just don't understand.
And you should just run away and eat candy like a good orphan. The poison candy myths are largely urban legends about malevolent strangers hiding poisons or sharp objects such as razor blade needles or broken glass in candy. It's yeah, I'm sure it happens, but not really, you know? And then thus distributing the candy in order to harm random children, like the Tylenol murderer kind of vibe, especially during the trick-or-treating. These stories serve as modern cautionary tales to children and parents and repeat 2 themes that are common in urban legends: danger to children and contamination of food. How many other food contamination urban legends are there?
Nearly every time that someone calls into a restaurant and says, I ate there a couple hours ago and I feel sick now. And it's usually
I haven't heard that.
They ate something shitty the day before. It's food poisoning can take,
for sure.
days.
But that's not an urban I just can't think of any other urban legends. That's funny.
I can't really think of any either. No cases of strangers killing or permanently injuring children this way have been proven. Commonly, the story appears in the media when a young child dies suddenly after Halloween, of course. Medical investigations into the actual cause of death have always shown that these children did not die from eating candy given to them by strangers. However, in rare cases, like you said, adult family members have spread this story in an effort to cover up murder or accidental deaths.
Man, if that's the best excuse you got for killing your kid or the kid being missing,
right,
you're not going to make it long.
Right.
In other incidents, a child who has been told about poison candy places a dangerous object or strange substance in a pile of candy and then pretends it's the work of strangers. That's a classic.
Yeah.
If you really want to get your mom freaked out, that's the way to do it.
You gotta put it on the gram like that.
Yeah. This behavior is called the copycat effect. Folklorists, scholars, and law enforcement experts say that the story that strangers put poison into candy and give that candy to trick-or-treaters has been thoroughly debunked. It's really fucked up.
I mean, they say the same thing every year about the check for like cannabis, check for edibles in your kids' candy. It's like no one's giving away edibles for free. First of all, they're fucking so expensive.
I'd imagine it still happens. It's just very small numbers. And maybe in a different area. Like if you were in like a Cali or something, maybe it would be more likely.
I don't know.
Because people give out like adult candies too. Like they give the kid one thing and then they give the parent a little something. Little something.
I don't know. I don't have. I've never known anyone rich enough to be giving away free edibles on Halloween.
Yeah.
Ever.
Just a little fentanyl spritz on them Skittles and
them shits are fucking expensive, man.
Fentanyl's not. All this shit with the poison stuff, whatever. This was like it was all the time of the satanic panic, right? And just anything to freak out,
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of that has like simmered down. Like there's always going to be a particular amount of the country or just people in general that like feed into that. But I feel like largely like fundamentalist thought has quieted down.
Yeah.
The influence is still, I'd hazard to say, as powerful as ever, but it's not the same as it used to be.
Yeah, there are definitely still people that are like, Halloween is for the devil, and like, right. You can't, like, there's still a lot of that, but there's also,
less.
I notice a lot more, like when I work at like the farmer's market or something like that, there's several people that come in, like regular customers that come in, but I'll see people all the time that have like, Baphomet on their shirt or like, Leviathan cross tattoos and shit like that. One of our regular customers has like the sigil of Lucifer on her, on her back of her hand.
Here's a question.
Yeah.
So I figured if you get it tattooed, it's likely. There's still a lot of people that just think it's cool. Yeah. Right, but likely you know a little bit about it, or you're into it enough to like think in line with some of those ideas. Right. But largely, there's like been this, like since we were younger, it's really changed where it's like cool to be like goth or metally, whether you are or not. You know what I mean? There's a lot of like poser vibe shit, which sounds so fucking lame. But if somebody's wearing like a pentagram, pentacle, whatever, Satan shit, like, and they're not like, they don't hold Satanist ideology, I don't like them.
I feel like, I mean, if we've talked about this, I feel like we hold some of the what's considered the satanic ideology.
For sure.
But it's not like, something we subscribe to. For me, it means less to me to wear, like shit like that than it means more that it means something to someone else. It means more to me, like when I wear Like I have like pins and goofy shit like that, or I have like, you know, upside down crosses in my house. It's like, I don't give a fuck about that so much. I think it's the symbolism of what it means to other people is what makes it metal to me. And what makes it cool to me. It's like people fear this. And that, I think that's cool.
Why not wear
maybe I'm a poser. Why not wear what?
A big SWAT.
A SWAT?
Swastika.
Oh.
My point is, I feel like
okay. I get the point you're saying there.
I was being hyperbolic. I believe like you wouldn't wear it unless it meant something to you.
Right.
And,
yeah.
And I feel like there's a lot of people who wear things they don't mean. Whether it's just like a regular crucifix.
Oh, absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like I have to question a little bit. Like, it's cool when you see things in the wild, but it's also like, how into that are you? And if they're too into it, right? If you see them,
they're another wackadoo. They're just as bad as the Christians.
Dude, that's what sucks. You can't tell. You can't tell.
Yeah.
I was going to bring up something else, but fuck it. Some Christians feel concerned about the modern celebration of Halloween because they feel it trivializes or celebrates paganism, the occult, or other practices and cultural phenomena deemed incapable with their beliefs. Father Gabriel Amarth? Oh, they did a movie about this dude. He was the exorcist in Rome that said, if English and American children like to dress up as witches and devils on one night of the year, that is not a problem. It is just a game. There is no harm in that. In more recent years, the Roman Catholic Archdiocese across the country, such as Boston, has organized a Saint Fest on Halloween.
Of course.
That's what it was.
You got to give the kids in church groups something to do on Halloween so they're not out there, you know, raising hell with the, you know, Satan worshippers.
So that's what I was going to say. So speaking of the devil, the Pope, right? We love to make fun of the Pope in the church as part of the show, right?
Yeah.
But the Pope Francis, gave the most based speech this week. And it was in the form of a long prayer. And unfortunately, it was the best thing a person in power has said in a while.
I stand by. I know, you know, there's also many things to say about him because he is a pope, but I like him more than I like pope. Any religious figurehead that I've ever seen, you know, say things and do things in public.
Yeah, he's actually really good. And
the fact that there's a lot of Catholics that are mad at him and don't like him, that makes me like him.
I can only imagine he really struggles with his position. Mm-hmm. Like, I'm sure he has strong faith and believes all kinds of dumb shit, but he wants things to be different. And I'd imagine the pushback on things, all the abuse the church has done, I'd imagine that is a very tricky position to be in. Because it seems like, you know, the Canadian shit recently, like, they're still denying things while owning up to other things. So I'm sure he wants to do things, and he's getting a ton of internal pushback.
Yeah.
But this speech he gave was a direct call out to the vaccine manufacturers and people such as Bill Gates, who wanted to keep production patents and stuff. And he called for the patents to be public and for anyone that could make it to make it, because there are so many countries that only have 2 to 5% vaccination rates. And like, while we kind of, you know, COVID's definitely not over, even though a lot of people act like it is, it's very different now.
We have millions of vaccines that are available that people aren't taking.
Yeah. And he really directly called out these people. You know, it's just some stupid prayer. It doesn't necessarily mean much, but he also was calling things like, I'm pro-gun, so I don't, you know, necessarily agree, but he was calling for guns to be stopped produced. He was calling for us to stop poisoning the planet. He was calling for UBI and like maternity leave, like all kinds of like social issues. And he said it Although, unfortunately, in a prayer, he still said shit that was better than our president or any of our other elected officials. You know what I mean?
I will say in that type of setting, like, because he was in like Congress, wasn't he?
Who?
The Pope, when he said that shit?
I don't think so. It was
maybe that was a different speech that I haven't actually listened to it yet, but I was looking up his speech and it came up a thing in Congress. But still, like, no one's going to stop him from or interrupt him during a prayer.
Yeah, it was during a mass, I believe.
Yeah, no one's going to stop him during that shit. I mean, like, especially during a mass, no one's trying to do that anyways. But, like, if he's saying shit that people don't agree with, they're going to go along with it until he's done because, you know, to seem whatever respectful of his holiness.
Yeah, really, even if they disagree, there's not much pushback they can give to him.
Right.
So it you know, obviously fuck him, fuck the Catholic Church, but you got to give props where it's due. It was some very wise words this week.
So similarly to the Saint Fest in America, many contemporary Protestant churches view Halloween as a fun event for children, holding events in their churches where children and their parents can dress up, play games, and get candy for free. To these Christians, Halloween holds no threat to the spiritual lives of children, being taught about death and mortality in the ways of the Celtic ancestors actually being a valuable life lesson and a part of many of their parishioners' heritage. Christian minister Sam Portaro wrote that Halloween is about using humor and ridicule to confront the power of death.
Yeah, that's some Memento Mori shit, right?
It's like, I get where they're coming from, and I feel like they have a good idea about it, but it's still like, just let it be. I don't know.
I just think of it as a commercial holiday. I don't think there's any reflection.
It is.
On the power
it is.
Of death,
yeah.
You know, even to religious people, I just don't think it has. It's just like for fun.
Yeah, I mean, I'd like to see stats on it more, but I imagine like it's got to be above 90% of the people that actually celebrate Halloween don't do it for any religious reasons. It's probably more than 95% of people that just do it because it's a fun thing to do.
I mean, Christmas is that way too.
Yeah, exactly.
How many non-Christians? Yeah. You got any like super memorable Halloween things?
I certainly do.
Really? I can't get many. Go for it.
One comes into memory. Well, I got two. So one of the first ones was when I was a little kid. There's a house, on a street close to the one I grew up on. They always had like the most decked out shit every year. It was always like all kinds of shit in the yard and up on the porch, and they all had like these costumes on, and they had light and like, you know, dry ice and like sounds playing and shit. It was fucking terrifying to me when I was a kid. And for a couple years in a row, I think I didn't go. Like, I wouldn't go up to the door. And then the one year I finally got it together and I went up with my mom, and one of the guys there, was wearing like this big costume. I don't remember what it was. He kind of came out of like the dark and was like, "Raw!" And I yelled, "Don't hurt my mom."
That's actually really cool. I bet she
Oh yeah, she still brings it up every now and then.
Oh, that's like the ultimate, like, I have the best son ever.
Yeah.
He got scared and said, "Don't hurt my mom." That's super sweet, man.
So that one was cool. I was just a little kid. Later on, this was probably, so it had to have been at least 7th grade because I knew David then. Mm-hmm. It was probably like the last year we went trick-or-treating anyways. But we were downtown across the street from the school building, waiting for David to get out of vocal lessons. Like
That's
it was like
rough
it was
spot right there.
like an after school thing that he was doing, and we're just chilling, like by the little pool house there, and I was the Juggernaut that year, and it was the.
I can see it.
Did you ever see the voiceover dubs of the Juggernaut?
Nah.
And like, okay, so there's a bunch of X-Men ones that were all like voiceover dubbed, and we thought they were fucking hilarious. And I mean, to me, they still are. It's like stupid, but they're really funny. But there's, he just keeps saying, "Oh, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch.
Oh,
the Jugs gotcha."
Yeah.
So, I said, so there was some kids getting off a bus. And they were like, "Where are you supposed to be?" I was like, "Oh, I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." And then these kids went on with their day. And then later on that night, this was after like David had gotten out. He was like, I want to say was something from Silent Hill, and he was like in a straitjacket.
Nice.
Like he was like in a full, like his arms were strapped to his sides.
Just totally defenseless.
Yeah. And then these kids are coming back our way. We're like waiting to get picked up. These kids are coming back our way with their dad. And they're like, "It's him. He's the one that called me a bitch."
What?
And this grown ass man comes over to me. He's like, "You call my son a bitch?" And I was like, "No, like it's a character thing." And I couldn't describe this to this man.
Oh my God.
He takes 2 fingers and hits me in the throat.
What?
Meanwhile, David's just standing there in a straitjacket. Like, oh fuck.
Oh my God. What did he walk away?
Yeah. Eventually, I think he realized like, oh, this is a child, and he walked away.
Oh my God.
But like, I'm in a Juggernaut costume. I have like a helmet on and shit, so he doesn't know.
Oh fuck, dude. That is so funny, man.
Yeah, he got up in my face and was like yelling at me for a minute, and then he went away.
Oh God. That's hilarious. I'm sure that's one of those things like, as an adult, it'd be so cool to like relive that moment.
Yeah.
Like, you call my son a bitch, like, yeah, I think his dad is too.
It's a bad part of town to be doing that in.
Yeah, that's a real rough spot for it. Oh my God, that's funny. I can't believe he actually touched you though. That's
hit me like right in the lower throat.
Oh my God.
And it was at that moment where I realized like, oh, that's super effective. And like, you can come in like right in the middle and just like bop, and it's like shuts them down.
Like bopping a shark on the nose. You just gotta tap the Juggernaut's neck. Man, I don't really have a lot of Halloween memories that I remember. I do remember one year, probably similar time as yours. I think I was walking around with Sam for a while, and then I know I was walking with Tony, and the 3 of us would walk like tremendous distances. Like, I'd say oftentimes we were walking like 5 to 10 miles a day, like multiple days of the week, just like free roaming anywhere. Like, just the energy of like anywhere but here. We have to just go get in trouble somewhere. We just cannot be here, kind of thing. Mm-hmm. And I remember he was like into biology and shit, like on a college level, like super advanced. And I never know how full of shit he was or not, because he really was quite a liar. But he was very smart. But, they say don't piss in the toilet after you wash it with bleach type thing, ammonia and bleach, mustard gas. He would make these glass orbs of mustard gas, or so he claimed, right? But I know he was smart enough to do those kind of things, but I don't know, like...
It was piss and bleach?
Supposedly, like, he's using, like, real chemistry setups to do it. But, like, Like we were into all this bomb stuff, and he supposedly was doing all that too. And I think he was full of shit a lot of the time, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But I remember on Halloween, he had like a hoodie on, and he opens his pocket, and he's got a bunch of glass orbs, and we're just chucking them at people's house. And he's like, "Those have mustard gas in it." And it's like, I don't know if that actually would do anything. But I remember we walked back to one yard like a week later and all the plants were dead. and I was, like there can't be much, if it was mustard gas at all, there can't be much in a tiny little orb. And it's being dispersed into a large amount of space. And I doubt he's making like military grade mustard gas. So my theory is I could see him having said they were, and there was probably nothing in them. And then later that week, he was such a wackadoo. I could see him sneaking back there with like
some bleach on the plants or something,
just to look cool. Oh man, yeah. I remember walking around with him a lot on a Halloween or two, but I don't not much stuck out. I don't got any like good crazies for Halloween.
I was say my next question was, did you ever TP or egg someone's house? But
yeah,
you threw fucking orbs that you thought had mustard gas in them.
I don't know who. I remember TPing a couple houses, but I don't know if it was at random. I think maybe there was somebody didn't like. I know we drove to the east side a couple times and would hit random houses there. It's like we're poor West Siders. We'll go TP those rich East Siders kind of shit. But I don't remember why or what. I know eggs were. I think we did more eggs than TP.
Yeah, I never TP'd anyone's house. We definitely egged someone's house. I don't remember why. I feel like we definitely had a reason to. I don't know if he was like the kid that lived there was shitty to somebody. I don't think.
Yeah.
I don't even know if it was on or around Halloween. We think we just might have egged their house.
I do remember one year we hit up. We had this music teacher that was a real bitch. She was so mean to everyone. And I think it became like a thing where like each 8th grade class would tend to egg her house. And she was livid about it every time. She was the most bitter. It's like, when people are so negative, they draw in negativity, right?
Was it Frau Hoffman?
It was very similar. She was a Frau Hoffman of her own. Oh, fuck.
I actually asked that seriously because I know she did work with a few other schools.
Oh, gotcha. What are you doing this year?
This year we're handing out candy because it's the first time I've had a neighborhood that wasn't just me as a single adult male in an apartment building.
Oh, yeah, that's always creepy, right?
Yeah. So like I never had the situation where it was like, there are kids knocking at doors or whatever in the apartment building. Even at my last place, it was more open, but I didn't have we put a bowl out with some candy in it and was like, take whatever.
Yeah.
But no one ever took anything. So, and we don't even know if we're going to get that so much in this neighborhood. But we figure, well, sit down on the porch or have like a bonfire thing going in the driveway or something and sit there, and
yeah,
it might be fun. Usually for the last several years, I've just been like, Mortal Kombat's been a tradition. Play some Mortal Kombat, maybe watch a horror movie.
Yeah.
That's been about it. If I'm by myself, when I was with somebody, it was usually if we try to do something.
Yeah. No, I haven't. The places I've lived since being an adult, no kids trick or treat.
Yeah.
Like they just don't go to these streets, kind of thing.
But I have trick or treaters in Hawaiian Terrace.
Actually, there were some, but they would mostly stick at their own buildings. And all those kids, they would drive to other neighborhoods for it.
Yeah,
like
yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's what I'm thinking might be the case with this neighborhood here.
Yeah, it's like they want the good candy. They want those king size shit.
There are some, nicer houses around here that are coming up, but a lot of them are like they're old houses that are nice that have been neglected or whatever. So
and are clearly haunted.
Yeah.
Okay, real quick, ghosts.
Yeah.
If you believe, like, it's one thing to be like, oh, maybe ghosts exist, right? Like, all right, I will tolerate your presence, right? But if you're like, ghosts are real and I've seen one,
get the fuck out of here.
Out of here. Get out of my house.
The fuck out of my house.
Get out of my house. Why are you here? God, how do people get so into all that shit, man?
It's one of those. It's hard for me to find horror movies now because, if I'm watching like a campy, like I do want to watch the new Halloween movie. I have Peacock Plus because I get it free through Xfinity, and it's free on that. Like I thought, they streaming it from there, but I'm gonna have to pay extra for it. But no, it's just free to watch on that. For me, so I want to watch it, but like those movies are like they're like the serial killer movies are like super campy, and it's like it's funny to me. It's not it's a genre. I think to most horror people, like these are not horror. They're not scary movies.
What's your all right, two-parter? What's your favorite serious and your favorite for fun, like dumb? Halloween, and if it's not straight Halloween, it could be horror, but
my favorite for fun one is Devil's Rejects.
Yep, that's up there for me.
I could argue that it's also my favorite serious one too, because it is really fucked up. But I watch it's so much. The characters are so like comical, like comic-y.
Tutti fruity.
Yeah. Tutti fucking fruity.
All right. So before we do your other one, like, all right, that literally was my favorite movie, right? Like I used to be such a film loser. Like I just fucking loved movies, and I had vast list and all these downloads of movies, right? Of all kinds of weird, like real art movies. But somehow Devil's Rejects remained at the top, right?
Yeah.
And I would defend it to the death, right? Because I had this weird emotional connection to it. I've watched it in the years since. It doesn't do much for me anymore.
Oh, I watch it at least once a year, sometimes more.
I mean,
usually more.
I still like it, but like a lot of all the things I was super drawn to it were like the ultra violence and like assault kind of shit. And it's like, I don't know. It doesn't do much for me anymore.
I mean, that's fair, I guess. I still really like it.
I mean, it's a great movie. Yeah. But it used to feel really special.
Like, one of the things that is more impressive to me about that movie is like the soundtrack is like, it's none of the songs are songs that I would have picked. Yeah. But they fit so perfectly. Yeah. It seems it sets the tone for I don't know. It's just like I can't hear Freebird without thinking of that movie now.
That movie made Leonard Skinner acceptable to me. And I did not think anything would have ever have done that. So that's the power of film, baby. So all right, what about your second?
My second, I'm tempted to say, I don't know, like I don't find so many of these like, I don't know, I guess there's some thrillers, I guess, that are not like meant to be horror movies that I like. But I think the movie that I was most scared by in my life was probably The Fourth Kind. Now, hear me out.
Oh, fuck, dude. With the alien?
Yeah.
Dude, that movie is fucked.
Yeah, that movie is really good.
I haven't seen that in a long time, and I haven't actually heard of anyone else who's watched that.
I really liked that one.
I wonder if I turned you onto it or you turned me onto it, because I feel like we've had this discussion.
Did you watch it with us over at David's house?
I feel like maybe I was there and didn't watch it, kind of thing.
That was the first time I saw it. It was really late at night, and most people were like falling asleep at this point. But we were baked out of our minds, and we're watching this movie, and it's presented like a documentary.
Yeah. That's my chick, isn't that? What's her name?
Mia Jovovich.
Oh,
Mia Jovovich.
What a sweetheart.
Yeah, love her. And like we're the whole time like, you know, we didn't have Google, you know, at our fingertips like that we could just like check all the shit, see if it's real. We're just freaking out like what the fuck? And yeah. And then the whole like it's not an owl.
Right.
Yeah, that began my my fascination with owls actually. The barred owl.
Oh my god. I have some stories about that sometime.
The scene where they close up on the owl and they swivel the camera around and he just follows fucking so good.
So good. Have you seen The Imposter?
That sounds familiar. Let me look it up.
So I had the same thing. Like when that was released, I thought it was a movie and it was a documentary, and I didn't like have a phone at the time, right? So that movie, oh my god, it's just a documentary, but it's about that guy who impersonated a dead kid. He was like a 30-year-old Frenchman that pretended to be a dead child from Texas, and he convinced the family to take him in, and he lived with them for like 6 months to a year.
Wow, and no, I don't know this one.
There's one of the YouTube series I watched just did one on him, but the documentary is outstanding because he tells the story, and he's been caught impersonating over 100 children. He's like the most famous imposter, and he's like 40, 50 years old now, and he still impersonates like missing children.
That's
he's got like
fucking weird.
Long prison sentences for it at times. So like, yeah, I went into that thinking I was watching a fun horror movie, and it turns out like 3/4 of the way through, I'm like, oh shit, this is fucking real. Wow. It's a really good documentary. They did do some like slightly unethical things, the creators of it. But it's a hell of a story. He's a real fucking psycho. He loved doing like Michael Jackson moves because he was a Frenchman. And that's part of what helped him get like noticed for not being who he said he was.
You're not a 19-year-old from Texas? What?
Right. He was 30 or something, and he was posing as a 14-year-old. Like, it wasn't like it's really great. He convinced the family to believe it.
Yeah,
like,
a grieving family like that.
Yeah, just total manipulation, obviously. And there was like theories that maybe they took him in because their son went missing, was never found, and there were theories like the poison apples, did they kill their kid? And maybe because all the attention that was going to be drawn, they didn't want to out this Frenchman for pretend.
Right.
So we'll just take him in and figure it out later, kind of deal.
Wow.
I think my favorites for Halloween movies definitely Nosferatu. You know, put it on mute, put on a couple old Burzum albums, settle down, fall asleep. You know, that's my Halloween for sure.
I'm trying to fall asleep to Burzum.
Dude, all the time. Journey to the Stars. 12 minutes. Beautiful song. You know, the name Burzum is the word for darkness in Lord of the Rings. In the little poem on the ring. In darkness, blind us or bind us. Yeah, they're such nerds. All black metal fans are nerds. But for fun, we and Sarah are gonna watch it this year. Is Killer Clowns from Outer Space.
I've never seen that.
It's so stupid. It's fun.
Yeah, stupid's fine.
Yeah. You'll like it.
There's a time and a place for it. Yeah. I like that more, I think, than some of the horror movies that like try to take themselves really seriously.
Oh yeah, there's so many bad horror movies. It's like the genre of metal and rap or any genre really, but definitely it definitely compares most to like metal or like horrorcore shit. Like most of it's going to be bad.
Oh, here's two I really like is the first two Hellraiser movies.
I think I like the third the most. I just can't remember if it's the one that ends where he says and Jesus wept.
That's the first one.
Where he's the uncle?
Or he has the face torn apart?
I don't know if that narrows it down.
No, well, yeah, you're right. It doesn't. No, that's the first one.
Where they move into the new...
That's either the first or the second one.
Where they move into the new house. I think his name's Frank.
Yeah, that's either the first or the second one. I think that's the first one, though.
Have you seen the newer one by any chance?
I've seen all of them. I don't recommend it.
Yeah, I really did not like the newer one. They tried to be like Saw-ish. It's a dog tapping its leg. They tried to be like Saw-ish and like super graphic, and it just was like so cheesy and like gross, but not cool.
Yeah. I do like the characters of the Cenobites. Those are cool.
Yeah.
They're fun and goofy. That just goes through a wild thing. Like even like Jason had this thing where it's like that movie type like worked in the late 70s and the 80s kind of thing, but like mid 90s and like 2000s, it's like it just doesn't vibe the same way. So like I even think it was called like Jason 2000 or whatever the fuck.
Yeah, if you've seen on Netflix, they just put out some new ones. Like I think it's called The Movies That Made Us, where they talk about the production of movies.
I have seen that. Yeah,
they just put out a couple new ones for Halloween, and it's Friday the 13th and Freddy and Jason, and they talk about Wes Craven and all that shit, and it was pretty fun.
I don't remember much of the first Friday the 13th, but I remember it being like super gory. No, I'm thinking of Nightmare on Elm Street.
Yeah. Man, I never was super into those. I don't... they're fun. I don't really get super into horror movies. Like, I would rather watch real violence than, like, movie violence.
Just straight up some snuff films.
It's a lean night. Yeah.
I like the iconography of the monster kind of characters, like your Jasons and Michael Myers and stuff. I think that's kind of cool, to have like the kind of horror icon thing, but like it's still there's a lot of it brings more poser shit into that too.
All right, speaking of Cenobites, I'm going to throw this out. I'm going to put this into the universe. Mm-hmm. You know how the Cenobite's mouth flaps open all crazy, the one of them?
Yeah.
All right. I need someone. I'm working on this piece of art. I need a actual high def photo of, and I believe it said, an Agania horned toad. Beard, the bearded frogs?
No.
They're a lizard.
Oh, okay, yeah. I know what you're talking about.
There's a breed of them called Aganias, Agenas, and they're the lizards that have the mouth that does that thing where the flaps open. And that's definitely what the Cenobite mouth was. Like, there's so many, like, monster things that have that mouth.
Oh,
right?
Are you talking about the one where, like, the mouth is, like, pulled open by...
Yeah.
Okay,
yeah.
The Chatterer. That's the Cenobite's name.
Oh, well, I was looking for I believe the lizard is Agania. Some type of bearded lizard. So apparently that lizard is actually pretty fucking rare. And there's, like, no high-def photos of like a close-up of the mouth or just the head in mid-flare. They call it a flare. I need a mouth flap flare of a bearded dragon thing.
All right.
Putting it into the world. Help me out, somebody.
Let's have our first email contact be someone sending that in.
I also, fuck, I need to ask my brother the name of it. We're trying to get a cracked version of some software. It's a software for music where you plug in, like there's so many different, like Logic, Pro Tools, whatever, but there's this particular program where you take like a sound and it helps convert that sound into other instruments. So you could like hum a note and we could turn it into different notes on a synthesizer, but in really high quality. So it's kind of like the main software for, there's better words I could use to describe, for creating a false instrument, whatever, and people make these packages and it'll be like 18th century cello, and it'll be like a specific cello that they recorded all the notes digitally, and then they make a very accurate replication of a exact instrument, and you can make your own with it. And I'm trying to get this software. I gotta hit him up about that. About to put it out. I know a couple script kiddies, couple internet hackers with their Pegasus torrents to help me.
Let me steer us back onto the Halloween thing. What do you remember either your first or your favorite Halloween costume you wore?
One year I just wore a trash can.
Upside down or?
Yeah, it was upside down. I just cut 2 holes in it. And it was so fucking hot. It was like a warm October. And I was just drenched in sweat. But my favorite one, like, of course you see cool shit online, but one year, the coolest one I've seen in person, Sam and Megan do like a serious Halloween party every year. That's like their thing. So this year they're getting married. So the wedding's on Halloween night. But one of their parties, it started at one person's house at one side of the street, and then it went to another apartment on the other side of the street. And the chick went as Britney Spears. And then when we went to the second location, she had a bald cap on. So looked like funny. she did the head shave like on our way to the next party. I was like, that's pretty fucking cool.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah. What about you?
I'm trying to think. There was one year I was probably 16. I was probably 17 because I was driving around with without people in the car, or without an adult in the car.
Sure.
But I got a full, one of those like spandex fucking onesies with the thing costume printed on it.
Oh yeah, like a Green Man, but
yeah,
green.
But it was Optimus Prime.
Nice.
And
uh-oh.
Well, I cut like part of the mouth out so I could like drink and eat and smoke and stuff with it on. We partied with that. It was really good. Just Optimus Prime smoking a joint.
Oh fuck, that is awesome.
That one was pretty funny. We did a lot of I think I did a lot of like vampire or like hobos when I was a kid. That was another one.
I did clowns a lot. I can see the hope. You'd be a fun hobo.
Yeah. I definitely did clowns for a while because I was in the ICP. I'm sure I did that.
Oh, yeah. When's the last time you've taken a lonely stroll near a train track?
A stroll?
You live near a train track.
Yeah, I live
now,
near a train track.
You could wander into all kind of hobo encampments.
Yeah, you're right. I could. I'd like to not.
It's a blast.
It's hobo country.
There is a spot. All right, there's this spot of woods that was very significant to us, but tons of like teenagers and homeless people would like get fucked up there or whatever. but you walk through and it's just clowns spray painted on all the trees. There's like hatchets everywhere. There were needles and shit. And then there were just like mirrors and nooses hanging everywhere, like in this one section of woods. And I was like, this is pretty cool. And I would just wander back there and see what who was sleeping. It was a little cool spot. Seems
like a good time to get the fuck out of there.
Yeah, it's pretty creepy when you're just wandering through the woods and you see a noose hanging like high in a tree. You're like, oh fuck.
There was one time there was a park we used to hang out at, and there was like kind of like some like natural benches made, and like it was off the beaten path, like off of this trail, and we would go and smoke there and hang out. And one day we went down there and there was like some deer bones hanging from the tree.
Yeah.
And we were like, oh, there's like some weird like satanic shit going on about this.
The witches.
But I was kind of skeptical that one of the kids we used to hang out with that lived near there didn't do that on his own.
Up.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, of course. Appalachian all cult shit.
Yeah. Cool fucking neighborhood though.
Dude, there's a spot in do you know the Arboretum in Coleraine?
Yeah.
Yeah, that was like my spot when I was at Hawaiian Terrace. I'd go there, get faded in the woods, but like I would go there multiple times a week and like do Tai Chi or whatever, like get fucked up and like meditate, right? That was my spot. And there's this one like weird path you can go off of, and I called it the flower chair. And it was an old bench near like a creek, but it had sunken so far in that it was just sitting at ground level. And like the right time of year, all these daisies and wildflowers like would grow through it. And it was like you literally could sit on the ground like in a flower. It was so cool.
You know what's funny to me is you say you used to go there and get faded and shit, but like I'm pretty sure that's where my parents got married.
Oh yeah, they would do marriages. I've definitely walked through a couple weddings.
There's a little gazebo.
Yes.
So, yeah.
On the water.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's where they got married at.
Yeah, I've done heroin there. It's very scenic.
Well, it's a pretty place to do it.
Dude, exactly. Like if you're gonna do it, you gotta do it. Yeah, I've definitely wandered through quite a few weddings. I remember I shot a stop motion film when I was doing audio video production, and it involved it was actually really cool. It turned out pretty good. And I had used a pig's heart in the stop motion. It was like some stupid story or whatever. But I remember walking through a first communion in the park, like a first communion party, and I had a pig's heart in a bag as it's bleeding through. I'm like fucked out of my mind. And I have somebody taking all these stop motion pictures.
God damn.
It was really good. And I have a couple pictures of like a family member, like a little kid in the background, like and I like in the thing, like
Jesus, that's really good.
It had needles and like drug use or whatever. I remember like one of my professors just seeing it and he's like, you know, I have to give you an A because you did really good, but I don't know, man. I don't know.
That's a very fair response to that.
It's like I'll take what I
That was a generous response to that. Oh, fucking A.
It sat in my fridge for like months.
The pig heart? Ew. Fucking gross. When's the last time you carved a pumpkin?
I will go to great lengths to avoid a pumpkin carving.
Really?
I will come up with creative excuses. I'll do it if I am dead bored and have nothing else going on.
Have you ever tried to do like the like where they just like shave away bits of it to have like gradient effects and stuff? Have you ever actually tried that?
Nah. It's
fun. Yeah, that's what made me really enjoy it.
Yeah, I see. I mean, it really is. I mean, a full art medium if you want to take it there. I'm not big into subtractive work or sculpture much, but I think I could like it. It's just like goopy.
It is goopy.
It's goopy. Like I would rather like make like pumpkin seeds. I love pumpkin seeds.
Well, yeah, that's the benefit of cleaning out a pumpkin.
See, but that's the thing is no one makes them every single time.
Like every time.
But I'm not with you on Halloween. If I was with
your
you,
own fuck up. I don't know.
I know. I would know I'm getting pumpkin seeds. If you were like, "Hey, let's carve a pumpkin," I'd be like, "That sounds kind of goofy." But yes, I am 100% in because I'm going to get
cinnamon sugar.
Yeah, but everybody else, they're like, "Let's get mushy and scoop out all the seeds and throw them away." And like halfway through, I'm fine, and then the second half, I'm like, "I fucking hate this. These stupid knot." You know what I mean? I just. I can't. It can't keep me engaged.
I did just send you a picture of the last pumpkin I carved. I just did one this weekend with my my cousin and his family, the girls and all that.
What'd you send it on?
I sent it to your phone. I texted it to you. And I'm down to I'll give you a different photo because that one's got pictures of my family in it, but we can put it up on Instagram. I'm pretty proud of it. I think it was funny.
Oh, that's really funny, actually.
It's adorable.
It is.
It was mostly, it's like, I feel like each time I carve one, it's like, I'm either going to want to like go into like details with it and shit, and I'm not good enough at that kind of sculpture to like get the result that I want. And I don't ever spend enough time practicing it. But I should. I think it would be fun and fine to do.
I could see you being super good at it.
A lot of people practice on like watermelons because they're similar. So I might get into fucking around with that at some point. I got like really cool tools to do it with, and I have like a full X-Acto set full of cool shit you can do that kind of stuff with. But yeah, I think it's fun. But it's either, like I said, I go like way into detail, or it's like, what the fuck am I gonna do? Like I like the traditional kind of scary pumpkin face is cool.
Yeah.
But other than that, I don't usually fuck around with it.
I do think it sucks though. Like I feel like the holiday is like, if you've seen like the hours for trick or treating.
Yeah. It's like 6 or 5 to.
Some places are like 5 to 6:30.
Yeah.
Like, it is, like, fucking ruined for kids now.
And if you're dark out yet, like, what the fuck?
And if you're walking around past 7, cops are fucking with you.
Yeah.
Like, if you're a kid. And if you're not a kid and you're an adult, like, yeah, they're getting DUIs tonight for sure. It's just like, everything's so, like, overly safe.
Right.
Or attempting to be. I don't know. It's just like, you gotta let kids make some mistakes too.
Do some dumb shit. It's character building.
Like, if you look at the city as a whole. So let's say we do nothing. Couple kids die, right?
You're right.
No big deal. All the other kids, they learn something. They grow.
This is Darwinism.
Yes, they have an experience. They get in some trouble. But if we like kid glove it too much, granted, no kids might die, but
yet,
yeah, exactly.
Maybe later on in life they don't have that experience, so they don't get the weight off their chest throwing some eggs at somebody's house.
All that repressed rage.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, now you have a serial killer on your hands. Yeah, taking the dark triad test.
That's how Columbine happened.
That's exactly, yeah. That's what happened. You know, you can have, go out and give kids a chance to, egg a house or like TP someone's, trees or their house or whatever, maybe burn down a church or something, like it's, like I said, it's character building. This is stuff that will, teach them life lessons.
100%.
Yeah. One of the other things I wanted to touch on, I feel like so much of Halloween, like I always like when Halloween stuff, like it's the store shelves and whatever, because it's like this year it happened in like August or some shit, like beginning of August, you started seeing stuff up. But it's like, for me, like Halloween decor, not like, spider webs and like goofy fucking decorations or, whatever, but like kind of gothy shit.
Skulls I bought off the black web. Like a Dahmer altar.
Just a nice pig's heart I keep in my fridge.
Yeah, exactly.
Some decor. Some of it's like stuff that I think is really cool. And I would have around my house all the time. Like I went to Michael's and we weren't even looking for Halloween. We were kind of looking for Halloween stuff. But that's not what I was looking for. I was looking for like fake flowers that I could use for something, for decorating in the house. And they had like black variants of all these different kinds of flowers and that's like fake branches of like broken, withered branches and shit. I was like, this is cool. Like this is the kind of shit that I want to put up in my fucking house.
Like sticks.
Yeah, sticks and shit. Yeah. You say I love you. I'm working on this. One of my next big art projects is going to be this mirror that was in my bathroom. I think I might have mentioned it to you. I want to do some different cool shit with it. There's they have like a spray paint that goes on, and it's like a translucent, just kind of like stains the paint or stains the mirror or the glass. So it's
like a color. Like
but you can still see through it or like see the mirror.
That shit's dope.
I want to try to make like a portal effect of like how I picture like portals in D&D with my other character, like how I picture that. And I want to get like nature shit and kind of put it around it in different ways so that like I don't want to have a frame on it, but I also don't want to be a piece of glass against the wall. So I want to use like found objects and kind of shit to like build around it and, create a frame kind of.
Yeah.
That seems like it's naturally there for whatever reason.
Oh, dude, this is only kind of related. Dude, I've been playing this game, Darkest Dungeons.
Yeah, you're telling me about that.
Oh, dude, it is the most difficult and challenging game I've played, I think. It's, I'm normally just into shooters or like fast-paced. I used to play more turn-based strategy stuff, but this is like, I think you would really like it.
Yeah, I'm down. I like, I'm not big into the turn-based games, but like I've seen a lot of artwork from it. It looks really, really nice.
It's like
I've had a lot
chess.
of people tell me that they're really into it and they really like it. So
it's really like chess. It's like chess and Pokemon in a D&D,
okay,
like in a dungeon where you go psycho from too much stress of darkness and shit.
No, it's got some eternal darkness shit going on there.
Yeah, for sure.
Classic.
Mirrors are weird, right?
Yeah, mirrors are fucking wild.
This is so goofy, but I keep writing down Mirror World because I want to do some sort of psychological like reflection on mirrors. But I can't get there. I can't figure out where the substance would be. But it's weird, dude. It's like a little portal realm. And I just feel like it's a lie. Like, it's like Bizarro shit. Like, it's a trick.
Everything's all reversed and shit.
Yeah, like, there's this weird version of yourself who, like, mimes you. And it's tricking you. You know what I mean? There's something off. I don't trust mirrors.
There's a lot of good movies about that. That reminds me. So one of the things, like I was just saying earlier, I don't really get scared by horror movies anymore. Like most of the box office movies that come out are like either too campy or they're like it's all jump scares and like.
What do you mean by campy?
Like it's like it's got like a traditional kind of feel to it, like the old like Michael Myers movie where it's like all tropes and shit. Like it's just, a bunch of teenagers in the woods, and you have the jock and the nerd and the stoner and the girl goes and takes a shower and then she gets killed or whatever the fuck, know.
But does the word campy in that sense mean it's like in its own base camp? Like what is that?
Meaning that like it's like I've always registered it as like campfire shit. It's like just like goofy. It's kind of goofy. Doesn't take itself too seriously.
I just hadn't heard somebody say it. I was just curious.
Yeah.
No. There's some new shit that's really good though, like non-traditional horror.
Yeah, and I'm down with some of that too, but it doesn't like make me. Most of them they don't make me have that feeling that I had when I was a kid of like, like double check, what's that thing in the corner, or like, oh, what's that? Did I just see something move? Kind of shit. Like nothing really does that for me, except some of the short films on like YouTube. I find a lot of, like I don't remember any of them by name, but there's a bunch of goofy ones that are like that are like just really unsettling, and they don't have to be more than like 15, 20 minutes long to get the point across of like what's, I feel like there's so much that gets lost in like the drama of building these characters and like making you like these people or dislike these people or feel a certain way about, like their struggle to survive kind of thing. And it's like, I don't need that part. What I want is the cool, interesting part where there's a monster or like a weird phenomenon, or, there's someone in the house or, there's a twist or whatever. Like I want that part. I don't need all the fucking character building and drama and movie shit that goes with it.
You're a goofball at heart, man.
Absolutely, yes.
That's what it is. Because you're in a weird spot because you like a little ultra violence or gore or whatever, or the weird aspects of it, but you want it to be goofy. That's somewhat, secretly what you want. You want it to be cool and like weird, have some fucked up shit, but you want it to be goofy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's hard. It's like people rarely or less often do that well.
Yeah. I mean, like I like fucked up, but I can only do so much of it before it's like, I don't know, like snuff film kind of shit, like actual like gore and violence and stuff. Like it doesn't really.
I used to love it. I don't.
Yeah, same. I think I got more of a kick out of it when I was a kid. Now it's like, The other thing we talked about, like the human centipede shit, and like it's gross. It's not like it's scary so much as it's just gross.
Yeah. I feel like they're a little. We've talked about it before, but I feel like there's exceptional aspects.
Yeah,
they were exceptional in some ways, but mostly it's just
or
obscene.
The fucking Serbian film,
right?
And it's like it's absurd, and it's definitely one of the most fucked up movies I think I've ever seen. But it's really well done, and it's like I'll watch it.
Yeah,
but it's like I wouldn't call it my favorite.
Right.
It's definitely just like, if people are talking about like, oh, here's like fucked up movies. It's like, yeah, it's like you see this one. It's like, that ain't shit. Go watch Serbian film.
Stuff like, and
Don't go watch Serbian film.
It's the edge of the cliff though. There's a whole nother drop off after that too. But I think things like that, or like, I have compared it to the newest Resident Evils 7 and 8. Like, they're almost like one-time experiences. Like, you get something very valuable from film, games, media like that, where you can only experience it once and capture that experience, that core feeling. Mm-hmm. And then after that, it really loses the novelty of it. And it's very valuable for that initially, but after that, it's, it's whatever.
I felt that way about Inception. And
Inception breaks the mold for me, man. There are like elements of that movie that I associate so strongly with. I will rewatch that every year or two.
Oh yeah, I'll rewatch it too. But same with like even like Shutter Island. I like that movie a lot, but I feel like there's something that like once you know it at the end, like it merits a rewatch, and you can rewatch it in that way. But like when you have such a strong like twist or something, it kind of, I don't know. It's not that it ruins it at all. It just, it dulls the effect of it so much that it's like part of one of the strongest parts of this movie is like this, or like even like Sixth Sense, like the part of the strongest part of this movie is when you realize that like he was dead all along.
I have never
spoilers for Sixth Sense.
Dude, I've tried to watch that movie at least 5 times. I found it so fucking boring.
I haven't watched it since I was a kid.
It has never captured my attention for 30 minutes. And I can sit through a lot. I just felt like that was a pretty bad movie. At least I get maybe the twist is the payoff, but fuck, they made you sit through it.
Yeah. Yeah, that's one of those, like, I guess I just goofy on that. Fucking movies in general, I don't. It's one of those, like, if I'm gonna, I saw a meme the other day. It's like, I don't want to watch an hour and a half movie, or I don't want to watch a 3-hour movie. I want to watch 6 episodes, 45-minute episodes of something back to back. And it's like, I don't know if it's just like a attention span thing, or it's like a pacing thing.
That's part of it. I really would like a 10-hour movie though. Like I do wish, like we were talking about podcasts last night, like I really do like long form stuff, and I think these long TV series are outstanding because you basically get a 40-hour movie broken into parts and you get that pacing. But I do think certain stories could be very interesting or powerful in a long form format. Yeah. And they're trying everything but that, right? Like, what's his name? Director, we just talked about the other episode, Once Upon a Time in Hollywood, Quentin Tarantino.
Yeah.
He has a cut of Once Upon a Time in Hollywood that's supposed to be 13 hours. And he decided to not release it. And he said wild. He never. Yeah, but it's like, imagine how interesting that would be, because that movie would be like, you probably wouldn't watch it in one setting, but each time you would be choosing where you leave off, and you would be eager to get back to the story, opposed to like a show where there's, like you said, the pacing gives you
natural. They give you cliffhangers. They give you things to break off on.
Yeah, they tell you when to breathe. But if it was just a movie in that format, you have to choose, and it means when you have to step away from, you're either binging it, which is a hell of an experience, right? Mm-hmm. Or you have to leave and come back to it, and it's going to be in your mind waiting. You know what I mean? I think that would be really interesting.
I think for me, with a lot of long form stuff, I put on longer things so I can do other stuff while I listen to it, or just have it on in the background. Movies, I try to, like, I'll watch, but like I'll put on. That's one of the reasons I like good, like Let's Plays of stuff, or like, or podcasts for that reason. Like if they go long, I can put it on and just have this in the back, or something that's audio, more the audio focused entertainment that I don't need to watch. Occasionally if I look over at the screen, I can like see something interesting that they're talking about, but like I want to be able to like go do the dishes and like get some shit together, or start doing food prep or something.
See, I do the same thing, but like most of the stuff I'm engaged in right now is long form, and I feel like in many ways, like I don't want someone to interrupt when I'm listening, because I feel like reality is what I'm like bullshitting, and my mind's not fully engaged, but it's mostly engaged in what I'm listening to. and it's like how I'm coping through life's bullshit.
Speaking of long form,
Mirror World. Let's get the fuck out of here. I gotta piss like a 10-dick dinosaur.
10-dick dinosaur. Thanks again for listening. Thank you to Approaching Human for the use of his music. You can find his work on SoundCloud at Approaching-Human.
Thanks, John.
Make sure to check out the show page at Trashcats Trashcast for on Instagram for news and art from the show. Check out Facebook for the memes.
If you're super bored, you can check out my trash art on Instagram at Skyzix, SKYZICX. Shouts out to our artist. I'll just post the links.
Yeah. Make sure you send a picture of Steven of that, a high def picture of that lizard.
Whoever
the flared out mouth
is gonna get a special reward back.
We'll figure it out. We'll send them something nice.
Yeah, I'll send them that lizard. Oh, fuck.
Let's see. What are we doing next week?
I was going to...
freestyle next week, right?
Yeah.
Cool.
Thank God. We've been... You guys have no idea.
How much work goes into...
Oh, God. That'd be fun.
Cool. That should be fun. That's going to be all for us today. Stay classy. Eat trashy.
Go fast, eat trash.